Hello everyone, this is Abhinav Anand and today we are going to discuss about Gulliver's Travel by Jonathan Swift. So this is an introduction and it goes like this. So this is about me. Before we proceed, this is about me. I'm Abhinav Anand, currently pursuing English literature from University of Delhi. I'm a football lover, I'm a poet and a traveler, and this is my email ID. You can contact me, you can give your feedback. I'm always there waiting for your responses. Moving on, this is the overview of the course. Uh, what I'm, what is going to be included in this video? These are the things we are going to discuss about Jonathan Swift. Then we will proceed and go on to discuss about how Gulliver's Travel, as we all know from our childhood, that Gulliver was this giant who went to a Lilliput, and we know this about from childhood, right? We cannot relate to it. So it is much more like a fantasy tale for us, but it is much more than that. So we are going to discuss about what is more to Gulliver's Travel. Then we are going to discuss about Gulliver's journey. We are all familiar with his journey to Lilliput, but there are much more journeys that he undertook in this book. So we are going to discuss about Gulliver's journey in brief. Then we are going to discuss about the genre of this book, that is Gulliver's Travel. And finally, we are going to conclude this. So moving on, we have Jonathan Swift, the writer of this book, was born on 30th October 1667 and died on 19th October 1745. So Jonathan Swift was this guy who is known as the greatest satirist of all time in English language, and his one of the masterpiece is what we are studying right here, that is Gulliver's Travel. So some more information about Swift. He was born in Dublin, Ireland. So his birth in Dublin, Ireland, and his throughout movement from Dublin to England is something which is quite interesting for us, but we are going to deal about that in our later episodes. So the next point, he was a man obsessed with cleanliness. So this fact is very interesting because this is the only reason why he goes on to live to more than 70 years. His obsession to cleanliness, and remember, that was not India. We are talking about Ireland, which is a very frozen kind of country. So in that country, he used to take bath every day, and he was this man very obsessed with cleanliness. You can relate to it. I mean, we also find some people around us who have this obsession with cleanliness, and they want everything tidy and everything at place. So he was like that. Considered He's obviously considered as the greatest satirist in English language, and one of the is not one of the greatest. He is the greatest, and the most famous work obviously is Gulliver's Travel. But apart from that, he has written A Modest Proposal and works like that, who also which also include this satire. Next point is Swift was a practical reformer. So he's not the one who was only in writing. He's also the one who goes on to display his works in society by doing deeds. I mean, he was a man of words and man of action, both at the same time. So he was a practical reformer and a true nationalist. So he was this guy from Ireland who fought against England for the rights of his people, that is the countrymen of Ireland. So he, after the writing Modest Proposal, he suddenly became the national hero, and he was the voice of Ireland at that time. So I guess this is about Jonathan Swift. This much is quite satisfactory until now. So moving on, we have these two what you can say these two covers of Gulliver's Travel. So here we can see this mammoth Gulliver surrounded by these tiny people. So obviously this is the land of Lilliput, and here we find Gulliver is in arms of a giant. So these arms are of a place which Gulliver visited after his visit to Lilliput, and this land is known as the land of Brobdingnag. So Brobdingnag was were these giants, and Gulliver is here, right here. So we will talk about all these travels in much more detail and their critical appreciation. We will do all that in the videos that are going to come next. So, a little bit about Gulliver's Travel. It was first published in 1726 and is regarded as Swift's masterpiece. It is a book in 4 parts, out of which one we all are familiar with, that is the book of Lilliput. But we are going to see it also in a very different way. And it is more than a child's fantasy. This point is very important because what we have seen Gulliver Travel is only as a child fantasy until now. But after this course, you will realize it's much more than that. Actually, it's not that only. So, moving on, we have um, this slide is actually very interesting. So, this slide gives us a glimpse in the journey of Gulliver. I mean, how he traveled from one land to another land, and this is the first land which where he goes. This is the land of Lilliput. This one is the land of Lilliput, and so from the land of Lilliput, where he was a giant, he goes to a land where you can see this is the Gulliver, and he's kissing a hand of a lady, and this is the hand. So you can see the difference in the size. So in the land of Lilliput, he was the giant, while here in the land of Brobdingnag, he is at Lilliput. So this is how Swift plays with our perspective. So the next travel which he does is to this land of Laputa. So you can see this is a floating island. So it is high up in the sky and it is floating. So obviously it has fantastical elements in it. So these fantastical elements help Swift to create an objective distance between us and that land. So this is the floating island, and from this floating island he goes on to this land of Honionyms. Honionyms obviously refers to the horses. So he goes on to the land of horses, and there what happens we will obviously know about it later. So this is just a glimpse through his journey from one place to the other place. So this book is actually in 4 parts, and we have discussed the 4 parts. That is how his journey proceeds from one to the another, and to the next, and finally to the last. So now we will discuss a bit about Gulliver's Travel as a journey. The genre of Gulliver's Travel. So the genre of Gulliver's Travel is, as we proceed further in this course, we will see that actually there are multiple genres in it. But the most interesting and the most obvious one is the satire. So before I go on to explain satire, let us discuss about this cartoon. This cartoon has this parent. The parents are watching a television, and in that it is obviously about something war has happened, and so they are discussing that guns cause all this trouble. And the irony of the situation is that behind their back is their son sitting, and he is playing this video game which includes violence. So obviously the son is having this mindset that violence is fun for him. Violence is becoming fun for him. So he's going to take violence in a very friendly, a very amiable manner. And the parents are not realizing this, that they are actually putting a foundation that is going on to reflect to his son's intellect later. So this is a kind of satire in which the parents are being mocked indirectly, and actually not parents are mocked, their ideas, their um, understanding is mocked. So the satire is not about mocking a person, it's about mocking the person's follies and his understanding. So the next point about satire is always meant for corrective purpose. It is not meant for harming anybody. It is not meant for character assassination. It is meant for corrective purpose, and that is why satire, as Henry Fielding, a great renowned philosopher, he says that satire is a uh, tool, it is a medicine that we need in our society. So this is all for now. I hope to see all of you in our um, next video, and I hope you all enjoyed this. So whatever your responses are, any response, I will always want to listen to them. Please send it to my email ID, and that's it for now. Thank you and have a nice day.